Hey, Shalom, Makim Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and that's what teaching his truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with 144,000, all the way down to the large multitude that believes and who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming back today with another lesson. And I pray this lesson is edifying to the elect and to the point. And I want to do a lesson going in on the fact of, this is from Al Jazeera. This is just the app that I have on my phone. And this is, let's see, 17 hours ago. And the title reads, it says, Biden to allow Ukraine to use U.S. weapons inside Russia. Reports. Now, Vladimir Putin came out and stated that if any nation or if any country imposes to use their weapons, all right, inside of Russia, before called Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai. If matter of fact, let me I have it pulled up here. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit just so you can hear it for yourself. And this is fair use. I'm not using this. As a matter of fact, let me just do this real quick, just so I have it pulled up. YouTube. Fair use policy. There's one that I usually like, but here we go. All right, this is a disclaimer. All right, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So this is fair use. All right. Now, I'm going to play this real quick so y'all can hear it for yourself. I'm just going to play a little few minutes of this, read the article, get some precepts, and Lord willing, like I said, this will be edifying. Turn this down a little bit. Hopefully it's no echo. I'm not sure.
US weapons to strike deeper inside Russia. President Zelensky has been pushing Western allies to allow his forces to use the missiles. It's believed the decision could help shift momentum in the conflict.
In the updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on Russia.
You see that? So any aggression of let me hear it again. Any aggression of, I think he said, of a non-nuclear state with the help of a nuclear state.
In the conflict.
In the updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on Russia.
There it is right there. So any aggression of a non-nuclear state by the help of a nuclear state, all right, would be pretty much imposed as an attack on Russia by that non-nuclear state, or by that nuclear state as well.
Russia will also consider the possibility of using nuclear weapons when receiving reliable information about a massive launch of means of aerospace attack and their crossing of our state border. This includes...
You see that? He said Russia will consider using nuclear weapons if there's any kind of weapons, all right, there's any kind of weapons that's being used and launched across their aerospace of for example, if Ukraine launches American missiles or U.S. missiles into Russia, Russia will consider that an attack on them by America. Okay, and we see these things all adding up ultimately to the grand showdown. Okay, we see these things ultimately adding up to the grand showdown of World War III taking place. All right, in America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. All right, being absolutely annihilated by thermonuclear missiles, man. ICBM thermonuclear missiles. Okay, let's get a precept real quick. Now, I will say also too that missiles aren't going to start flying. All right, unless, or I rather say until, all right, the MOTB is fully established worldwide. All right, the total destruction of America is not going to come until the mandatory implementation of the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, the microchip, all right, is established throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, just want to throw that disclaimer out there as well too. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse. Let's see, Isaiah 13, verse. Get to the point. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." Now the Medes here is talking about Russia. All right, this is a future prophecy. And when you look at an ancient map, all right, when you look at an ancient map of where the Medes were located, it is located within the region of Russia, Armenia. All right, that whole region in that of the earth is where the Medes, the ancient Medes, which are Japhites, were placed and settled. Okay, that's why whenever you read it prophetically, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." Okay, which is not talking about the actual Medes of the time. It's talking about Russia here. Okay, it says, which shall not regard silver. All right, it says, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You see, there's not going to be any kind of bargaining that's going to be able to take place between Russia, or rather say, there's not going to be any kind of bargaining that America is going to be able to do with these various different nations when they decide to push the button. All right, it says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. And the bows talking about their missiles. Okay, it says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's how you know that it's not talking about. That's how you know it's not talking about the ancient Babylonian kingdom whenever it fell, whenever Belshazzar came into power. All right, when you read Daniel the 5th chapter, okay, because it was more so a surgical strike. Okay, and pretty much the kingdom was given to the Medes. It was pretty much handed over. It didn't really even go down with any kind of battle or anything. Okay, there's no report or record that Babylon the Great fell in the likeness of how Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed. Because how did Sodom and Gomorrah get destroyed? They got burned up by fire and brimstone. Yeah, Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and then Zor was slated to be destroyed. You know, but Zor was actually spared. You know, because Lot pleaded with the Most High about Zor being spared, which Zor means insignificant. Okay, but going back to the point is that Babylon, all right, the Great, or Babylon here in this chapter wasn't destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so this is letting you know that this has to be another Babylon. This has to be another place that they're talking about, and that place here that's being spoken about is talking about America. Okay,
strategic and tactical aircraft, as well as cruise missiles and drones, hypersonic and other delivery vehicles. Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in case of aggression, including if the enemy, using conventional weapons, poses a critical threat.
The plan to strengthen Ukraine is the Victory Plan, which I presented to our partners. One of its key points is long-range capabilities for our army. Today, there's a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions. But strikes are not carried out with words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves. They certainly will.
U.S. President.
And here it is. You know, you got Ukraine that's getting billions of dollars. You know, but here it is. All this money that's being given to Ukraine by the United States, especially underneath the Biden administration. There's no, you know, you have the same amount of funds, or I rather say money, that's not being used in-house here due to all the issues going on in-house. So you got people that's already upset about that, on top of the money that's going over there to the JEWSs, the so-called JEWSs. You see? Now, here's the article here. It says, this, like I said, this is 17 hours ago. It says, Biden to allow Ukraine to use U.S. weapons inside Russia. All right, now this is happening before. This is happening before Joe Biden even becomes. I would rather say, not become. Excuse me. This is happening before Joe Biden even leaves office. You see, this is happening before Joe Biden leaves office. So you got to ask yourself, Okay, well, why would they allow this to happen right before Donald Trump goes into office? You see, why would they be allowing this to happen? Could they be trying to usher in and speed up World War III? You know, well, it's soon to be seen. You know, it's soon to be seen what's going to happen. It says outgoing United States President Joe Biden will allow Ukraine to use U.S. provided weapons to strike inside Russia. Various news outlets, including Reuters, the Associated Press, and the New York Times, have reported. Three sources familiar with the matter, including 2 U.S. officials, told Reuters on Sunday that Ukraine plans to carry out long-range attacks using the weapons in the coming days. You see, and this is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai speeding up the time. This is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai working on the minds of these different kings and rulers, ultimately what? To fulfill prophecy, to fulfill his will. Okay? It says the White House has not commented on the reports, but Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said that the missiles would speak for themselves. And that's what we heard in the report. You see, the missiles will speak for themselves. And where the missiles are going to be coming from, they're going to be coming from America. And I want to say that Turkey, and other EU nations, NATO and EU nations, I'd rather say, have agreed not to really not to support. Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, no. I think I actually might be speaking about Israel right now. They're not going to be sending any weaponry to Israel. You see. Let me see something real quick. I'm just curious. We'll say NATO nations to send. NATO nations. Okay, this is July 5th, 2024. Because you have within these different NATO nations, you have some nations that are stating that, you know, they'll send weapons, but you also have some nations that's like, no, they're not going to send any more weapons. Especially when it goes down into this whole thing with Israel. Okay. But anyways, let's go back here. It says today, many in the media are saying that we have received permission to take appropriate actions. Zelensky said in his evening address to the Ukrainians. But strikes are not made with words. Such things are not announced. The missiles will speak for themselves. See that? So, with these missiles getting ready to be used, all right, in Russia by Ukraine, all right, which are going to have the United States stamp on it. You know what I'm saying? The United States, pretty much it's going to be a direct shot from United States to Russia. And also, too, you had that happened over the weekend. Poland, they just allowed, I want to say that they allowed a base to be opened up in, I want to say it was they allowed a base to be opened up in Poland. So something along those lines was right there on Russia's back door. Let me see if I can, maybe if I can search it. Yep, U.S. opens missile base in northern Poland, and that's right there. That's right there on Russia's back door, man. You see? So even with that happening, you know, it's like it's clear and evident that they're pushing forward. All right, with the agenda of getting ready to fight. But like I said, it's the Lord that's causing. It's the Lord that's placing it in their minds. It's causing them. All right, to make these moves. As the scripture says in Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay? Let's go back here. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened.
President Joe Biden has authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied long-range missiles for strikes deep inside Russia. This major policy shift comes after months of requests by Ukraine and just 2 months before President-elect Donald Trump takes office.
You see that just 2 months before Donald Trump takes office, this is now allowed to happen. You see? Because could something happen to whereas war pops off or begins to pop off, and they won't have the elections. The elections will have to, not the election, excuse me, the inauguration, I rather say, would have to be canceled. You see, and Joe Biden, would still be the acting commander-in-chief at that time, or something can happen with Joe Biden to whereas he ends up, quote unquote, getting sick or whatever the case may be, and then after that, who will be the president? Who will be the acting president? It will be Kamala Harris. You see? Remember, the scriptures tell you how the devil shall come down with great wrath because he knows he has but a short time.
Trump has criticized Biden's strong support for Ukraine.
Deborah, it is a significant shift. It's something that President Zelensky has been calling for a long time.
It's a hugely important moment and a massive boost for the Ukrainians. Like you said, the Ukrainian president has been lobbying hard with the United States to try to get the US president to lift restrictions specifically on long-range missiles after...
And this is all really just segue in on the fact of how the Lord is placing the spirit upon these rulers ultimately to get the grand battle, the grand showdown started. Okay, like I said, it's soon to be seen how this is all going to play out. But this is definitely a prophecy. Okay? This is Revelation chapter 20. And I'm going to get straight to the point. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. It says, "And when the 1,000 years are expired," which that 1,000-year period was expired roughly going into the the latter part of the 1400s, when Cristobal Colon, Cesare Borgia, you had a iconoclasm in the Renaissance period, flourishing, because after 1,000 years, I'd rather say 4,000 years, Esau, the so-called self-proclaimed white man was shut up. He was in slavery pretty much for the most part. He was the base man, the wild man. Okay, and we were ruling, in Spain, Europe, Germany, France. You had Jake that was ruling at that time. The Moors, that whole history. Okay, but after 1,000 years, Esau rose back up into power. Okay, it says, "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison," and he's loosed out of his prison currently as we speak right now, and he's getting ready to be cast back into a prison. Okay, just the Lord allowed him to run rampant and wild for a particular period of time, right? It says, "And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog," which is it's not like you have the land of Gog and you have the land of Magog. Gog, which is the land of Gog. Magog, it means from Gog, which is Russia, right? It says Gog and Magog to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. See that? And this is what you see happening right now, because Russia, all right, it says in Revelation, the 13th chapter, is the feet. It had the head. The beast had the head of a leopard, but it also had the feet of a bear, which means that this beast system is going to fall by means of Russia, as well as various different nations that are going to be aided by Russia. Okay, you're going to have China that's going to be, that's going to also cause America to fall as well with their military. But it's not as if China is going to be ruling next to come, or Russia going to be ruling next to come. No, when all these kingdoms fall, that's going to be it. Then the kingdom of heaven is going to be established on the planet Earth, as prophecy states. Okay? So, I just want to do a quick lesson on this. I pray it was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that's still teaching this truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect, beginning with 144,000. All the way down to the large multitude that believes and who the Lord will deliver in these last days. To you